Severin is one of the best traders out there right now. He's absolutely crushing it. He just hit $100,000 across 58 streams, and man, he's not slowing down. This guy's trading more than twice a week on chartchampions.com. So if you're interested in learning more about Severin strategies, give us a comment below. And if you haven't yet subscribe to this channel to learn everything about options, futures, and stocks. Severin, you have just absolutely been crushing it on live streams. And I'm curious to know, what has your process been in terms of transitioning from just a guy who decided on becoming a trader to someone who has actually become a well-respected and really, revered coach, and then ultimately achieving 100K profit on live stream in just like 60 streams. Like, what does that feel like? And just let's take a step back and talk about what your life looked like before trading, and then what did it feel like when you started trading for yourself?
I actually got into trading by accident because something I have always done was investing. So even when I've made my first money working in a supermarket or a bakery, I was always interested in investing that money. And at some point for me, I had to look into crypto too. So I signed up for this German crypto exchange, and I just wanted to see how the process looks like. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of money saved up. So I was just looking at this website. I saw there was an offer for BTC. And I was like, okay, I just want to go through the process. And at the final step, I'm going to decline, because I know from buying stocks, you always have to confirm. But then I clicked this button and it said, congratulations, you just bought X amount of Bitcoin. And I was like, what? That was literally all the money I had in my bank account. So all I was trying to do was to get rid of this transaction. Actually, I called my bank and I was like, okay, I made a big mistake. We have to somehow get me out of this trouble right here. But turned out that wasn't possible. And then something that got me super curious was the volatility in my portfolio, because the one day I was up, next day I was down. Even without knowing anything about trading, I was like, what if every time I'm in profits, I'm just going to sell my Bitcoin. And then if it's going below my entry price, I'm just going to buy it back. I thought that was a good strategy. Now, a couple years later, I know that wouldn't really work out. But that at least got me curious about trading and had me look into free trading content. That is how I found out about Chart Champions. I immediately decided to sign up. Of course, in the beginning, there was no success whenever I was trading. I obviously didn't make any money. But one thing that I learned over the years is that less is actually more in trading. And for me personally, the amount of trades significantly decreased. The amount I spend in front of the PC has significantly decreased. And that actually led to way better results. So something I came to realize is that less is more in trading. I know I try to preach it every single week that we should focus on the best trades only. But that is one thing, honestly, that I think I underestimated the value of focusing on the best setups only, as we just want to be exposed to the markets. We want to take as many trades as possible, but that actually leads to the biggest mistakes in trading from my perspective.
Yeah, and it's surprising to me too. And one of the things I've learned is that oftentimes less is more, and that simple, elegant strategies are harder to achieve, but once you master them, really pay the dividends. And I'm curious to know, were there, on the way, we've talked about some mistakes that you made, and you don't have to say specifically what they were, but there specific mistakes that you made that repeated over and over again? Because I know a lot of us that are in learning trading and they're still working on becoming the best traders that we can be. We have these emotional mistakes and that lead to monetary costs, right? That actually detriment and hurt our psychology. Were there any mistakes that you made for longer than you should have, and what were the outcomes of those, and how did you break that cycle?
Ooh, yeah, there have been many, many, many mistakes along the way. And I would say something that really stood out to me was focusing on too many assets at the same time. So when I just started out, I was mainly trading crypto, but I was trading, I don't know, 20 crypto assets at the same time. And that led me to knowing each of these assets maybe a little bit, but none of my assets I was trading really in depth. And that is something I changed over time, where I'm now focusing mostly on two assets. I know exactly how these assets move. I watch these assets each and every day, so I cut it down. In the meantime, I was also trading Forex. I was trading CFDs, but then I was trading some super random Forex pairs also. I don't know, but it was always leading to a bit of confusion because then I had one of my alerts go off. I needed to switch to this pair. Then I needed to see how did this asset actually react at my level of interest. And now I don't have to switch screens. I can see everything the moment it happens. So that is one thing. The other thing is actually focusing on money. Something I also came to realize over time is that I don't really like to have a fixed daily target. So I like to keep a daily target always as a floating daily target because I don't want to be too focused on the monetary side of things. I want to focus on taking good trades only. And something I stand by is that if you focus on the skill, money is going to follow the skill. So as long as I focus on taking good trades, I will make money over time. But if I start to focus too much on the monetary side of things, it is, from my experience, going to diminish my trading results because I'm chasing money instead of chasing good trades, as my job is only to take good trades.
Was there really a point in your career that you ever decided to hang it up? Was there somewhere along the line where you just said, "Hey, maybe this isn't for me"?
There were moments where it got super difficult, also where I lost a lot of money. I shared it before, but I was starting my trading journey with 30,000 euros. I went down to 5,000, and that for me was a mental break. That is where I was like, okay, I just can't go below 5,000. This is where everything has to change because I wasn't really taking it serious enough, or I thought I was a better trader than I actually was. But at 5,000, I was just re-evaluating everything. And I was like, okay, what do I actually want? Where do I want to be in 10 years from now, in 5 years from now? I made a roadmap, I made a plan. I must say, it never got to a point where I actually wanted to give up because whenever I commit to something, I committed to it wholeheartedly. And I just made a decision that I will do whatever it takes to become a profitable trader. But there have been moments where you, of course, doubt yourself, where everything is going to be super difficult. I was going through depressing or depressed periods of my life where trading just, I don't know, but consumed everything of me. And, yeah, but I never really wanted to quit.
And you're not the type of person to me that feels like a quitter. And at the same time, I don't think anybody that gets into trading gets into with the mindset that, hey, I'm going to join this thing and I'm going to quit. No, it's the breakdown of the emotional expectation versus the outcomes. And I will say this as a friend of yours for almost 4 years now. I can say that I've seen the dedication and the work that you put in. Even right now, it's late. It's after the trading hours, and you're sitting here making a video about trading. And I think ultimately, that shows the character of who you are. You're willing to put in the time when it's needed. And yeah, I'm curious to know, was there a moment or some kind of realization where things started to click for you, and not just hey, I had a good month, but where you really started to build that consistency and where that momentum started to form? And just one other note, you said, where the focus goes, the energy flows. And I feel like that's truly worked out for you. And when did that really? When was that cemented in your mind? Was there a moment, or was it a period in time where you thought, hey, this is actually going to work out, and you started to flip the momentum into your favor?
Yeah, so the beginning of that was actually me hitting the 5,000 mark where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to change my system here. I'm gonna have to view this as a business going forward. And I think that added some seriousness in my dedication to this trading journey. Because when I decided that now going forward, I will do everything it takes, I will follow every single rule I set myself. I even wrote some contracts with myself. So I was just filling out a form. I was then writing down all my rooms, and I signed it. My rules. I signed it myself to I don't know, but have more accountability in front of myself. Because one thing that most people lack in trading is that there's no boss looking over your shoulder telling you what to do. You have to do that for yourself. And I was struggling with that myself, where I was like, okay, if I disrespect my rules today, no one really is going to notice. But one thing that helped me is have a contract with myself, and then obviously reevaluating and always reviewing myself, seeing how did I follow my rules, where can I improve. And that is something I also say all the time. In trading, the market is always giving us feedback. The one thing we have to make sure is that we listen to this feedback. We can take trades, we will lose trades, but then we have to look into those trades and see, why did I lose this trade? What can I learn from the feedback the market was giving me? Or when I look at a day where I was taking 20 trades and I still had a worse result than on a day where I had 2 trades, I need to compare both and see what actually happened on that day. I was taking 20 trades in the pursuit of making more money, and on the next day where I was taking 2 trades, I was doing way better. Where's the difference here? So you really have to go quite in depth to find out about your weaknesses, and then try to focus on the things you're good at. And for me, that is taking less trades, because I am one of the traders. I like to keep my peace. I like to be super calm when trading, and I figured out over time that that typically happens when I follow my predefined levels and take only a few trades rather than overtrade and take those 20, 30, 40 scalp trades in between.
And I'd love to jump in a little bit to the strategy in a moment, but before we do, was there, if you had to pinpoint it, the shift that you felt, and you've talked to me about this before, the shift from, being a casual trader to really focusing on it as it's your business. Do you think that was driven by risk management? Was it driven by preparation, or was it something greater? Was it something outside of yourself, maybe a spiritual growth, or personal, like you said, well-being and mindfulness? What do you think really helped with the shift?
Well, there have been quite a few defining moments. One was definitely going to one of the CC meetups in San Diego, where I also met you for the first time. And something in trading, everyone has to understand is that, or accept, is that you need to accept to be unaccepted. Because what I learned in my trading journey is that not everyone is going to support this journey. In public, sometimes it sounds like trading is this get rich quick scheme or whatever it is. And during this CC meetup, I actually for the first time met like-minded people who were on the same journey, had the same struggles, the same fears, the same hopes, and the same aspirations as I did. And I felt super supported by that, where I was like, okay, actually, this is a career path I might consider for a full-time job. So that was a very big thing for me. And at the same time, I was always super interested in personal development. I was always trying to just surround myself, or at least listen to people who inspire me and who can also show me how to think outside the box. Because trading is not like the rat race type of job. It is something where you have to think outside the box. And I would say you have to surround yourself with people who really support that idea. I found that through listening to podcasts a lot, reading a lot of books, and also I implemented meditation, breath work, some mindfulness practices that can just lead me in the right direction. Because what I learned about, or something I looked into early on, is the law of accumulation. And that, or the way I interpret the law of accumulation, is that if you have an end goal, everything you do is either benefiting you reaching that end goal or taking away from you reaching that end goal. So that is the way I viewed everything when it comes to trading, or the way I spent my time, that everything I do is either going to help me to reach my goal of becoming a profitable trader, or it's not. And then I have to make decisions based off that. Obviously, I was also going through a period of time where I didn't have a lot of free time. It's not that you will just spend 1 hour trading each day and you will get there in, I don't know, in a short period of time. It is going to take time, but it was dedication, long, long, long hours, and also making a lot of sacrifices. But I think it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And one of the things you said really struck me was surrounding yourself by like-minded individuals. And I'm curious to know, what role did chart champions play in your development as a trader, and then eventually becoming a coach?
Oh yeah, Chart Champions was the biggest part, to be honest, because I still remember it to this day. But when I saw the first video of Chart Champions, I was actually sitting in the car with my brother, because I was again looking at my crypto portfolio, and I was like, okay, that is just so volatile. I don't know what it is. So I went to YouTube, checked out trading videos. I don't even know what I typed in, but then I found Chart Champions, found Daniel, saw a video about order flow, where I was like, okay, that looks different. I've never seen that before, but it looks interesting. I think I was super interested in the complexity of things, where I was like, okay, that looks interesting. I kind of want to know what that is. And from that moment on, I just checked every free video of Chart Champions. I immediately signed up, went through the modules, and then I always recorded, this is a gold nugget here, but I recorded snippets of Daniel talking about his struggles, talking about his achievements, and I listened to it over and over again, where I thought trading was humanized when he was talking about him taking losses, but then having a good day and what helped him going through this journey. So I was listening to that repeatedly and went through all the modules. At some point, I was very confident with all the material that I had to practice. Obviously, that took time too. But after, I would say, a half a year of practicing with everything that I learned, I started to really grasp the concept. And then it led to me also developing my own approaches. In the beginning, it was very vague. It was not that I knew exactly what my strategy is going to look like. But over time, I developed more. I watched more live trading streams of Igor or Daniel or whatever. And then after, I don't know, but quite a long period of time and thousands of hours in front of the PC, I developed my entire own strategy. And something that was the most or one of the best feelings I had in trading was when I got to a point in trading of developing my own strategies where I no longer depend on anyone else, where I don't have to check what Daniel or Igor is posting about their thoughts on BTC, for example. I just knew I have my plan, I have my strategy. What others are doing is nice to know. I might look into it just out of curiosity, but I'm no longer looking for confirmation. And that was where everything changed for me. And I was just following my own system. And this is something everyone should aspire to. Not to try and copy someone else, but to try and build your own system that you can replicate over time and just open up the PC. You know what you're looking for, you know how to enter, and you repeat this process each day all by yourself.
Now, I wanted to flip over, Severin, to the reason we're here today, and that's because you've been a coach with Chart Champions, and you started live streaming, and we now see that, and this isn't all the live streams. This is just the ones that we've been checking and tracking. You've made over $100,000 in profit over 58 live streams, and I think people will see that headline and they'll say, well, you know, uh, who knows? Maybe it's fake. Maybe he's trading demo, or hey, maybe this guy's an ace trader and he's just different than everybody else. I'm curious to know, what do you think? People will see 100K, the number, and I'm curious to know what you think people will misunderstand about that.
Yeah, I mean, in trading, you will meet many people who pretend to know more than they actually do. And in trading, everything can be faked. But that is exactly why we implemented live trading. And that is why you can see each and every trade live. So I cannot fake anything I'm doing on a live trading stream, as we also make our P&L visible. So you can see how my P&L develops throughout a stream. The stream typically takes 2 hours, and then you can see I'm going from 0 to 500 or 0 to 1000 or whatever it is. If I'm taking a loss, you will also see it. But one thing most people might also misunderstand is that it is easy to get there. It definitely is not. It takes a lot of time. I also don't want people to focus too much on the numbers. Hitting 100,000 was a very big milestone for me, to be honest, because I never thought I'd be able to reach that in just the live trading streams. So if you told that to myself 5 years ago, maybe I would say you're crazy. But for me, it was a very big moment. It shows consistency because one thing that's even better to focus on is a win rate throughout these 58 streams of 76% and an average profit of $1,700 per stream. That shows that trading is a valid career path where you can make consistent money, where it's not one day you'll be lucky, the next day you lose it all. It is just repeating your process, doing it each and every day. So I hope that I can prove this with this performance. People can backtrack each and every of my live trading streams, of these 58 live trading streams, and then, yeah, just make a decision for yourself if that's real or not.
Yeah, and just incredible numbers. And obviously, not every stream is a $1,700 win. Sometimes you have a really big day, and maybe the volatility is greater, and you're able to take advantage of that, using your strategy, which I'd love to dive into. But really quickly before we do, what has it been like? And you said earlier that you show your results live in the moment. You're not doctoring them. It's no demo account. What has it been like handling drawdowns with a live audience watching? And even on the other side of that, what has it been like when you have a really big winning day with someone watching? Love to hear both from those two perspectives.
Oh yeah, especially in the beginning, that was quite challenging to be honest, because live trading was new for me. I obviously was trading for myself, but then having people watch me trade live added a different level of, or another level of, I don't know, pressure. In the beginning, it was quite challenging. It could really consume me for an entire day if I had a bad live trading session, because I was constantly thinking about that, and I was always like, what are people gonna think about my performance? But that was something where CC was also super like this family feeling. We all know that is normal in trading. We're all gonna have losses. And I know there's gonna be live trading streams where I mess it up. There's gonna be live trading streams where I'm taking losses. Yep, that is definitely part of the game. We have to accept it. We just have to make sure that over a long period of time that it doesn't happen too many times. But yeah, on the good side of things, of course, it's a great feeling taking some good trades in front of our members. And I know that some people are taking the same trades as I do. I can see it in my live trading streams where we get W after W when people take the same trades, just celebrating the wins because these people know exactly how I trade. One thing that I really commit to is not holding back. I'm teaching everything about my strategy. It's not that I keep anything for myself. I share everything I know about these markets. I try to make it as clear as possible. And honestly, it feels great knowing that people take the same trades as I do and make money off of these trades, because I have heard some incredible stories of people turning full time, buying incredible things. So that is always pretty special, and I think it just adds another dimension to this entire trading journey or trading career, because it can be super lonely. I'm just sitting in my office all by myself, but then knowing that there's people I can speak to, there's people who listen to me, there's people I can help with their trading journey. I can look at this from a perspective of what would I teach myself 5 years ago? What would Severin want to know 5 years ago? And this is how I try to do each and every of my streams.
And speaking as someone who's been in that audience, who's made money right alongside you, I can say without a doubt, you are not alone in that room. You have hundreds of members there with you, oftentimes over 200 at a time, and many of them trading live in the moment with you. And I've seen it. We've had days where the market's just not there, and you'll take a few cuts, and maybe you decide, hey, today's not the day. And I think that's as equally valuable to traders to show that, hey, if it's not there, it's not there. And then you've had days where we've all made money. 50, 60 people in the chat are putting W's, and everybody's getting a piece of the pie, and it's just incredible to be a part of, and it's been incredible to watch your development as a trader, as a coach, as a mentor. And like I said earlier, you are not alone in that room, my friend. We are all there with you. And people who I've spoken to, especially at our chart champion meetups, have expressed to me how special that they feel your strategies have been in terms of the consistency, how much you are being able to post in your Discord channel, where you're putting your levels every single day that you have a live trading stream, even when you don't, you're doing the stock market updates and you're telling us where you're looking, key levels and areas of interest that oftentimes have really, really great return on investment, um, for risk to reward type trades. And I'm curious to know, you talked a little bit about your strategy, and we don't have to go into details, but what has been at a high level, what has made your strategy work so well? And maybe we can focus on the one that you've used most consistently.
Yeah, so for me, that obviously, or I needed countless strategies to be refined to come up with my, I would call it final strategy for now. Maybe it's going to change at some point, but for now, I'm just going to focus on that one. And something I didn't like about trading there is that it was always kind of intuitive, knowing whether one should take a trade or not. And I try to build a system where you have a clear answer, where you know exactly what you want to see. You can say there's 3 things you want to see each and every time you want to take a trade, and you just tick it off and say, okay, 1 is given, 2 is given, 3 is given, then I'm taking the trade. So I wanted to come or nail it down to a system where you have a clear yes or no answer, whether you want to take the trade or not. And for me, that works perfectly because I like to just follow a system that is always the same. There's no guessing. There's just a clear answer: yes, this is a trade you should take, or no, this is a trade that does not meet all of your criteria, so you have to stay out. Are you going to miss trades? 100%. But as long as I focus on one strategy only that has very clear rules, I can also backtrack this strategy and know exactly how well it performs. So one thing I don't like to do is mix it with other strategies, because that's going to impact my overall performance. So I'm just sticking to one where I know exactly what to look for and follow that religiously.
And I'll just I'll say the name of it, and this is for exclusive for Chart Champions members. But there's a strategy you've created, which you've also backed up with statistical data, hundreds, if not thousands, of trades tracked and all logged into a trading journal. It's called the three candle entry strategy. And recently at our meetup, you've refined the strategy, you've improved it, and you've over the past year, have made observations around the strategy that have actually improved your win rate by over 8%. And I'm curious to know, who is that refinement really for? And if our members are watching, you all know what this is, and I'm curious to know, what should members expect to gain from learning about your strategy and the refinements that you've created?
Well, one privilege that I had was that last year, no, now it is 2 years ago in Dubai, I taught the three candle strategy for the first time. And within 1 year, I not only had all of my data of the trades I was taking, but I was also able to see the trades our members were taking, because they can post their trades in the futures channel too. So when I looked into their trades and compared it to my trading, I spotted the most common mistake. And that was one setup that was technically within the rules of my three candle entry strategy, but I found that to be the most likely type of setup that didn't give a winning trade. So I done some intense research on this. I back tested it again, and then I came up with the refinement of that strategy that led to another 8% increase in my win rate, ultimately leading up to an 82% win rate using that strategy. I must say though, this is based off last year, I think in October, the data of October. For now, since then, I am sitting at a 92% win rate for now, but I would say 82 is a little bit more realistic. And yeah, members can expect to have a system that you can follow across each and every asset. You know exactly what to look for. It is a specific candle pattern formation that we want to see at our levels of interest, and that can be replicated over each and every time frame too. So it can be on the daily, 4 hour, 30-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, whatever you decide to trade. There's going to be a very clear system that you can follow across assets, across time frames, and it's always going to give you that very clear answer of yes, I want to take this trade, or no, this is not a trade I should be taking.
And it's pretty incredible. I feel like you've identified something in the markets that a lot of people struggle to put into words, and you've been able to distill it into not only a winning strategy where you're winning 8 or 9 out of 10 trades, but you've been able to communicate that effectively to our community, and not only in the futures market, but in the crypto markets and the stock market as well, which is pretty incredible. And I definitely um, think you should be patting yourself on the back. We're all here cheering you on and learning from you. And yeah, it's been really incredible to watch your development as a trader and as a coach and as a friend too. Just a couple more questions for you to wrap this up. And I'm curious to know, as a mentor and a coach to many different traders across all different stages, beginners, intermediate traders, and advanced traders, what have you observed that separates the ones who really become consistently profitable from the ones who maybe stay in that place where they're stuck and feel like they can't get over the hump, so to speak?
I'm going to have to say that the trading journey is extremely difficult, and everyone is going to go through extreme struggles. But that is where you have to show dedication, and this is where you have to show character to say, okay, I'm still going to stick through it. I'm going to try and find people who can help me, or I'm trying to find systems that I can implement, maybe even something outside of trading that is going to help me go through that period. But the most important thing is just to make a decision and say you will do whatever it takes, because I honestly believe that everyone can make it in trading as long as the commitment and the dedication is there. Because I don't think you have to be super good in math. I don't think you need to be super well educated about the I don't know, stock market, for example, trading is different. You just have to learn some basic technical analysis, and then it comes down to psychology, dedication, and I truly believe everyone can make it. But yeah, it is dedication that's lacking for most. Or some people just try to give it a shot for a couple of months and say, okay, if it doesn't work out in 3 months, then fine, then I'm gonna find something else. But it comes down to the end goal, to be honest. If you really want to pursue this as a potential full-time job, and if you want to be a profitable trader, get ready for a difficult journey, get ready for many failures, get ready for many losses, get ready for a super difficult time, but it is going to shape your character in an incredible way. You will learn so much about yourself, and that is going to be stuff, or this is going to be lessons you learn for life. You can apply to everything in life. So it's going to be a great but difficult journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. And it goes back to that's really beautiful sentiment. And I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier about having the dedication, picking a lane and really just deciding for yourself that this is what you want to do. And last question here, and again, please take your time. For the traders who are watching this now, what is one thing you believe they should focus on this year if they want to make that real progress and see the consistency that you've so excellently displayed during your live streams?
I would say it comes down to breaking an end goal down to small steps that seem to be achievable, because we don't want to focus on, or we should focus on that, but we have to break down this big, big, big goal into small steps that we can be accountable for and say, okay, today my goal is only to follow my rules. The next day, it's going to be only taking one good trade. And then the next day, I'm going to just try and be 1% better in my trade management. The next day, I'm going to set another goal. So I'm just trying to break this super big goal down into small steps that everyone can follow, or that is exactly what I was doing. And always be accountable for the things you're doing in trading. You don't want to hide anything. You have to be brutally honest and look at the numbers. So words talk, numbers scream. We have to look at the numbers and look at our data, look at the reviews, look at our win rate, our risk to reward, which was the biggest problem for me in the beginning, because whenever I saw a winning trade, I just wanted to lock it because I needed that feeling of having taken a winning trade. But then I had to be brutally honest with myself and say, okay, maybe I have a good win rate, but with that bad of a risk to reward, it's not going to lead to profitability. I need to change my system. So you have to be very honest with yourself, and there's nothing you can hide in the markets. So it is really a transparent transparent thing. So
One thing I've heard you say often is that the market is a mirror and it shows you who you really are. And I think this is a great place to wrap it up. I want to say that I'm so proud of you for reaching this milestone. I think it's only going to get better from here. And I really speak on that behalf of the community that we are so grateful for you, for your strategies, and for you just being a shining example of what is really possible. So, thank you.
thank you. Yeah, so my goal for next year, or this year, by the way, is to reach 250,000 in live trading performance. So that would be the 100,000 I already made, plus another 150,000 to end the year at 250,000. So let's see if I can reach that. That is just a monetary goal. I know I'm focusing on taking good trades primarily, but this is something that drives me to get even better and obviously develop new strategies and just help everyone achieve the same results, because I truly believe it's possible. And here at CC, everyone is at the right place, because I, once again, learned everything within CC, refined it through countless hours of observing the markets, but I never, ever looked into a different trading group. So it's all within CC. Now I'm showing you what's possible. You can see it live there. Nothing can be fake. If I do it live in front of you, you can check each and every live stream for yourself. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you in these live trading streams too.
And much love on a great person, a great trader, and a great friend. So thank you very much, Severin, and we'll talk to you very soon.